Hello everyone and welcome back to a new replay, guys. Today we're going to be having a cheesy matchup here as we have Bly in the bottom left, the man known for proxy hatches, early pools, roach all-ins and more proxy hatches. And at the top right we have a Goblin who's known for a couple of things. Phoenixes. He loves his Phoenixes in every single matchup and he loves proxying buildings on the maps. Another thing, by the way, that he absolutely loves is air tools into that late game, in PvZ specifically. He does not like these longer macro games majority of the time, so we'll see what he's going to be doing this time around as we have Gateway on the low ground here for Goblin. We don't see an early pool, we're not seeing a drone on the... Uh-oh. We're seeing a drone on the map. Now, anyone familiar with Bly will know what this is going to be. We see the hatchery first being built at home. Then this drone is gonna wait until it has about 300 minerals. It's gonna pop in and it's supposed to be building a hatchery here on this location. Now, Goblin knows Bly and his shenanigans. It's like, you know what? I'm just gonna send a probe down in case you do wanna try this. I might lose a little bit of minerals if you don't, but if you do, I'm gonna be in a great spot because scouting for Zerg this early is really quite expensive. And you also see the delay this is causing on the spawning pool that a Zerg player would usually have. Bly definitely should be throwing down the spawning pool at this point. Yeah, there we go. 200 minerals still on the bank, so this is extremely bad for Bly. It's gonna be very late links. This Nexus at an appropriate timing. The Cybercore is gonna be at a fine timing. Now, all that Goblin needs to do exactly is make sure that this base this gas doesn't get stolen. He should not care about this hatchery. I repeat, he should not care about this hatchery. He has good vision with his probe, exactly what is going on. He knows this pool is late. He can check the gas mining, he can see if there's a roach warren. He's going to be able to stay here for a very, very long time. Usually as a Protoss player, you want to be leaving this bait at around 215, 218, because at that point the links will be popping. But in this game, the pool will be barely done at that point. So he's going to have a lot of time. And yeah, honestly, just let him build it. What's the worst thing that's gonna happen? Worst case scenario is he builds a couple of roaches from here. You just full wall your front and you get a void ray from a Stargate. Or even, you can even build a robo if you want, for all I care. But knowing Goblin, he wants to be going into that Stargate. All you need to know is whether this hatchery finishes or not and what type of tech your opponent has. So this hatchery absolutely should be a cancel. I like this battery timing. Now, the reason I like this battery timing is because he's gonna be able to cancel it. If he sees this hatch gets cancelled, he can cancel the battery. If it doesn't get cancelled, he'll have a battery ready the moment it finishes, which isn't quite necessary, but sometimes with Ling run-bys, things can get hectic. Okay. He sees this hatchery finish up. I would love for Goblin to still have a probe on the other side of the map, just checking that third base. Because even though there's a hatchery in your base, Zerg is the only race that can really proxy a building in your base, or well, a main building in your base and still be fine. We saw SOS do something similar with a Nexus once or twice against Terran and recalling DTs into his opponent's base, but that really is a one-off thing. Now we have 6 links in production. I would have loved for this to be an adept rather than a stalker. Battery in the natural so that he can basically hold infinite links going there, and is a single stalker, a void ray on the way as well for the main base. And I mean, this is just not going to be enough for Bly. He's gonna need way more damage, and the only place he can really get that is going to be the natural. But Adept is moving in position already. Good probe here, but Goblin is playing a clean game so far. Sometimes his early game not the cleanest, especially in weird situations, but here seems to be absolutely fantastic. This does need to be a cancel. Not cancel the pylon. Now that's annoying because he's gonna have to kill that pylon later on. It's gonna make him extremely 6 more links really. It's not that useful, is it? It really is not. I mean, he's gonna be able maybe to get 1 or 2 workers here. Another battery being built further to the back. 6 links will die very rapidly. Going to be able to get 2 workers. Not quite worth it once again. 3 more queens are on the way, still at full wall. So even though I feel like Goblin's reaction has almost been perfect, just a couple of mistakes with that pylon, the links just doing a little bit too much damage. I don't think he should have lost 3 works. I think it should have been 1 max, especially those first slow links. His reactions were good, but not quite good enough. He built a second battery as well, so it's a little bit of a mineral investment that I wouldn't have minded not seeing here. We have once again links trying to do their best, not quite sure what they're doing. On top of that, the fact that he opened with 2 void rays means that Bly doesn't need spores yet. And that means that the eco for Bly is going to be higher than it should have been. If you open with an Oracle, or if you open with a Void Ray into an Oracle, I don't mind the Void Ray first, honestly, because he didn't know if it was roaches or not, so Void Ray is a safe call. But after that, an Oracle, if you see it's only links, I think that's very nice to do as well. You can put some pressure on your opponent, you force more queens early on. More queens means less drones. And also you force a spore in every single base. Now 3 bases, that's 3 less drones, also a lot less mining, and it costs a bit of money. We see the queens actually have been building very, very late. Like these 4 queens haven't been here for a long time yet. There's two Void Rares. I don't think he's gonna lose a Void Ray here. Void Rays are a little bit too fast for that these days, but I don't know. After an early game like this, and I'm looking at the situation, I think to myself, I feel like Goblin should have been in a better position. Now he's going to be adding another Stargate to the mix. It's going to get him up to 2 Stargates. He already has 4 Void Rays, getting his +1 attack. He's a decent amount of adepts, which he can use across the map, but Bly is relaxing. He's getting 8 queens right now, which is exactly what you want against Void Rays. His creep spread is a little bit lacking. He doesn't really have a ling over here or a ling over here. He needs some type of ling spread to make sure that he doesn't get surprised by these Void Rays. Now, as long as these queens are in position, it's going to be fine. 15 more drones on the way. 46 against 58. It's going to turn into 75. These adepts might be an issue, though. 8 queens are out already here from the Void Rays. What are the links doing? Are there still links? 4 links total. 2 more queens on the way. Hydra then, as well as +1 attack for the Hydras. And of course for the queens as well. Let's not forget about that. Here come the links. Here come the adepts. 4 links are in production. No links are in position. A couple of workers will fall. 6 almost immediately. Void Rays also taking some things down over here. I'm not sure what that was. There's 2 spores really just for zoning out. I love that spore positioning there by Bly. I did lose a bunch of drones already. 8. None of these adepts have fallen. There should be a shade out as links are about to pop. 22 in total. More drones are on the way here. 10 drones have fallen. 11 drones go down. I'm not too sure about that spore right click. Yeah, I don't think that's a play. 9 freaking overlords on the way for Bly. So doubling his overlord count basically. Not quite sure how these adepts are still going strong. I mean, you can just kill these adepts with your links. Even if you split it, you're gonna get good trades. These are not glaive adepts, they're regular adepts. Fleet beacon is on the way now here for Goblin. I feel like he's taken back the lead here a little bit. He has that air control. Hydras are not out yet. He's +1 done already as well. I wonder... Twilight Council. I guess we're going to be seeing Quick Storm here. And the Fleet Beacon. I'd be surprised if this is for quick carriers, alright? I think this is going to be for Flux Veins. The speed upgrade for the Void Ray. I actually would be surprised if he starts carrier straight away. There we go. Flux Veins. We see Twilight, another gateway, so going up to 4 gateways, which is indicative of charge, Templar Archives, and then going into Storm, which is really good against these Hydra compositions. Storm is so dang important. Flux Veins not kicking in yet, meaning these Void Rays not gonna have the lightning speed that we so love to see them with. Queens are in position to kind of deal with these Void Rays. Not a single Void Ray has gone down, but 2 queens died there. Right click on this spore. Only a single... I forget the ability of the Void Ray. Prismatic Alignment. The Hydras are gonna fall. This is good micro by Goblin, honestly. I like that. Infestation Pit goes down. If you can get this Evo, that would be a very big deal. As all of the units so far out of Bly really rely on those upgrades, so Evo would be big. Of course, drones also would be big. I wouldn't mind. Yeah, there we go. Just right-clicking a couple of drones. Queens come to the rescue here. Is there anything in position at the fort? No. 2 adepts are doing some work there. How many did these guys get already? 5 kills on these adepts. Did he get 1 more? I'm not sure. Maybe 1 more. Fort base very late here. First carrier is on the way right now. More gateways? 8 gateways. No forge though, is there? Is there any cannons yet? No cannons, no forge. Now, I like charge lots, don't get me wrong, but without upgrades, I don't really see the value too much. And then we're gonna see a forge here. Fort base. It's a really late forge. Fort base, and also a really late forge, by the way. Infestors here. Gonna be able to catch maybe some of these Void Rays. If you can just get a single hit off on these Void Rays, that would be extremely useful. And this drone's been making the trip of a lifetime. This has been queued up for like half a year already. 2 spores, bunch of queens as well. Yeah, queens are gonna be able to deal with this. Now I would love for this to try and intercept over here. That would be a big play. A very, very big play, as we have a bunch of hydras being ready to that place. And here comes Bly. Oh, Goblin is not paying attention. He's gonna lose all of his Void Rays for absolutely free. I mean, these guys have been doing some work. Even at this point, I mean, Bly's still behind in resources lost, but... I'm not too sure how great this really is for Bly. I mean, he has a good army. He does have a timing here. Does he have... how would you call it? The thing so that the air units don't do as much damage. I don't think he does. I don't think he needs it. It's gonna have +2 missile attack, groove spines. His fort base is a goner, right? No. Infestors? Where are the infestors? Where'd they go? Go home? I guess he doesn't have any energy available. Vipers are out. I mean, a couple of good parasitic bombs in my mind would just finish the game over here. Maybe even want to pull in some Viper. Storm isn't done yet. Of course, Bly doesn't know that yet. It's a good first parasitic bomb. It's going to be able to hit a bunch of these air units. Goblin not really microing. Some weird target fire. No micro at all out of these hydras. Storm finishes as well. Here come the storms. Good storms. Charge lots are putting in some work here. Maybe we're going to see an Archon or two being morphed. Fort base is going to die. Oh, this game is looking very, very bad for Goblin right now. He does have +2 and he's getting 4 carriers at this point. I don't think Bly should be pushing in this far though. If you lose these hydras, you're going to be in a little bit of trouble. The Queen March? This is absolutely not necessary, I feel like. He just killed a 4th base. He should just continue expanding, getting up to 85, 86 workers, get more infestors with neural parasite perhaps, get a couple of vipers, get some corruptors, double spire play would be useful as well. I mean, these queens are just sending them to their death straight away. I don't understand this move at all. Even if the hydras were there from the start, I think this is a mistake. Because this is really the only way he can lose or make it a little bit of a closer game. This is a big army. If these storms hit, if these storms land, I mean, these are just hydras. First storm, very, very good. I wish I could remember the name of this ability. It does absolutely nothing at this point, as it's mainly covering the Templars. Good storms. All the queens have gone down. Is there any queens at home? There's a single queen at home. He keeps pushing. Why is he doing this? Don't understand this. I guess Bly doesn't want a painting speed and corruptors. So the baning speed is perhaps for run bys. This is a nice move. Now this I wouldn't have minded if you just kind of tries like 15 hydras over here and then 10, 12 hydras over here, trying to harass a little bit. Okay, I'm not quite sure what the baning speed is gonna do. He has no upgrades for links, right? No. I mean, without +2, banings just kind of suck as a harassing tool. These links are gonna be useless as well. Warp in 2-3 zealots here, single battery, absolutely gonna be slaughtering those links. With your charge roll with do have +1, so that's nice against Ling run bys. Bly staying at a drone count that is way too low at this point as well. 71 workers. He's had complete map control for the past 3-4 minutes. He should be at 85, 90 workers, creep covering the entire map, double spire on the way. Well, double spire finished and double upgrades pumping out, but he seems to be going for another timing, which, I mean, the moment Storm is out, there's Archons and a bunch of Void Rays. Is there really a timing you can hit? A one-time go as a Zerg where you're like, alright, time to fight and I'm gonna kill you while you have batteries and cannons? No, you're gonna be whittling down the Protoss by taking better trades, bit by bit, picking off carriers, picking off Void Rays, and then when the Toss attacks into you in your Spore Wall, you have your Infestors ready and you neural things. That's how you play the late game, but Bly, he's getting carapace upgrades for his ground at this point. I don't even mind that. He still has a very large Hydra force. I wouldn't have minded a second Evo a bit earlier already, but his drone count is just non-existent. 20 on banelings. There is 3 Archons here, and there's storms for days. 11 Templar. All of them basically have double storms at this point. If they could, some of them would have triple storms at this point almost. Like, it's... They have so much energy. This is gonna be like, we're talking 20 storms here. I mean, I just don't see how Bly is gonna take fights here. I mean, I like this run by. Don't get me wrong, but the Lynx just don't have enough DPS. Without Adrenal Glands, without any attack upgrades. I just don't see it happening on 1 battery. 2 Zealots are gonna deal with, what is it, 30 Zerglings? Oh! Very good pulls there out of Bly, but doesn't have enough Corruptors quite to one-shot. Couple of Banelings gonna try to run in, won't be able to get the Templar. I guess that's his entire plan. Seems like a pretty poor plan though, hoping the other guy doesn't pay attention. And now, Bly's actually in a little bit of trouble here. He does have a bunch of Banelings, 25 to be exact. Archons are going to have to be in front to tank those Banelings. If the Templar died, this is going to be a rough fight. Parasitic Bomb being casted. Now we're seeing the Loco maneuver here, which is it's a play I first heard Loco talk about, where you Parasitic Bomb one of the carriers and you fly with your Corruptors into the carrier you use Parasitic Bomb on. And that way the Interceptors take damage from the Parasitic Bomb while they try to kill the Corruptors. It's actually known as a Loco maneuver in the pro scene. It seemed to actually do quite some damage here. Nine Hydras are out. I mean, this army for Goblin is, even at this point, it's a weak army, right? This army is useless, but it still seems to be fine. And he built this army off of 4 base. His stuff being built back at home. He's getting a couple of charge. So this carrier's gonna fall, he's gonna lose an Oracle, but Bly's at 58 workers. I can't wrap my head around why he would stay on such a low worker count, doesn't build any spores, and his upgrades are so freaking weak. 2-1-2, 17 minutes in the game. At this point, Cyril's trying to get 4-4, wondering why that's not possible in this game. Like, well, I have the money for it, and I already have 3-3-3 on everything. 2-1-2, no more upgrades being researched, no extra drones being added. I mean, Bly, I guess, is just gonna go for the kill. We have a bunch of Templar here, no storms available yet, but actually there's a bunch of storms available. 5th base being taken here. For Goblin, I don't understand why these aren't gonna be Banelings. Use some Baneling run-bys. Ultralisk Cavern on the way. There's a single Carapace upgrade. No melee upgrades. The problem with Lynx at this phase in the game, if you don't have them upgraded, is they're not going to be able to fight Zealots. If you have 3-3 upgrades and you have Adrenal, this is different. But if you don't, just use Banelings and pray to God the other guy isn't paying attention, right? Like, he's down 60 supply. He's going to need to make miracles happen. I guess it's more of a miracle to kill 35 workers with 4 Lynx than it is with 4 Banelings, but it's also pretty much impossible. Even Tom Cruise would pass on that mission impossible. 11 more Hydra, still no +3. He gets an Ultra Cavern, start Chitinous Plating, +1 melee, and then builds 11 more Hydras. Which actually seems the worst unit to build at this point, the Hydra. I like this, the attempt of a Baneling. I mean, it doesn't work, that's okay, but I like the attempt there. Couple of Zealots being run around here by Goblin. Shouldn't really be able to do too much. I say that there's no real defense here either. How many Lynx is there? There's only 14 Lynx, so can't even quickly send those over here. Did something die here and I missed it? I think the 5th base just went down, but at the same time this base is also going down. He should just clear these drones real fast. I guess too busy focusing on this fight. Templar are trailing behind, not gonna be too useful here. Good Oracle attack on that Hydra army. Sees lol. 1 Carapace upgrades. I have +3 on my carriers. Good luck, buddy. I think at this point he can literally just fight with his carrier Void Ray and be fine. I mean, there's 21 Hydras, but with the upgrades that they have, I don't really see a way. I love the Zealot run-bys. I love how active he is with these Zealot run-bys. In what seems to be a very high-paced game where Blight couldn't really find the money for these static defenses, these spores, these spines, these static defenses that he needs against charge lots. Hasn't been able to quite find the resources for that. Now we have another run-by coming here for Bly. Meets a couple of Zealots, and I think that's going to be the end of at least that part of the Ling run-by. There's a single cannon here. Ling's going to be able to do some damage with +1 research now. Might actually be able to kind of fight against these Zealots, but cannon helping out too much as well. Is there another Zealot run-by? Oh, not quite the run-by, just a standstill. No, strike. I want the better fighting conditions. Oh, let that work out for you. Just work! This is a good Baning run-by, but this is gonna have to be the Baning run-by of a lifetime. And then these Banings need to clear every single Templar, and then the Archons need to start attacking the carriers or something like that. I think Goblin could fall asleep in front of his keyboard at this point and probably still win. Lost 19 workers, so I guess he kind of did fall asleep on his keyboard for a little bit there. 3 Infestal. Is there Neural? Maybe with Neural I was thinking. Imagine he Neurals 3 carriers and there's no detection. And then Banelings kill every Templar. And the Void Rays are attacking an Overlord or something like that. I think these Hydras might be able to do it, but I think at this point it's gonna go for a base trade. 121 supply against 175. After all the buildings in the main are killed. Can he just recall to the 4th? What is this? What is his worker pool? Wait, what? He actually thinks it's going to be a full-on base trade? Why doesn't he just recall? Is recall available now? Wouldn't that be way easier? He's up so much. I guess not anymore. He's losing a lot of his workers now. He's going to lose these workers as well. Is Goblin actually making it kind of hard for himself? Wait, can Goblin lose this? Oh, Infestor's being caught in the middle of the map. Fungal, fungal, fungal. Fungal. Can we get... Is there Blink? There is Blink. Can we get a Fungal? Hello? 37 workers have gone down on Goblin's side. These drones are evacuating. There's still a lot of money here for Bly. Almost no money for Goblin. He can recall still to 2 Nexi. And these drones are not... These are all the drones left. Now there's some in the middle. There's a hatchery over here. 525 minerals remaining. 3 hatcheries are already built. There's 5 probes. The moment Goblin... Okay, I love this. This should be able to hold this ramp for quite... Ah, okay, there's an Ultra. Ultra should break this ramp, kill the Templar, then go up with... I mean, it doesn't matter. The moment he goes up, the army of Goblin comes from the back and... There's nothing here for Bly really to be able to fight this, right? Let's have a look. Templar, where are you? No Templar in this fight. A little bit of a mistake. Are Templar coming from the back? No. Actually, Bly could fight this. Stasis doesn't get triggered by Ultra. I thought they might be able to break it. I didn't know it didn't get triggered. Here come the storms. That's gonna be it. I mean, with storms there's gonna be too much. G gets called as Goblin wins this game, I guess. I mean, it's a very odd game. Starting with a proxy hatch into a base trade. I'm not quite sure. Yeah. Thanks for watching. I hope you did enjoy it, and I'll hopefully see you all next time for a new game, which is hopefully less confusing for me, as I have a bit of a headache. Bye bye.